Today we're going to be going into a meta video. I'm going to be giving you my top 5 decks of the format, so let's get right into it. My first deck we have is Gear Chronicles. The deck just, oh my gosh, it's getting so much support. It's so good. It has everything. It has a really good early game, mid game. It has a finisher with next stage. It has so many good control cards. Time Leap is a really, really good mechanic. It's just, the deck has a little bit of everything. The deck is just so good. It has probably one of the best first turn strides in the game with Metallica Phoenix, where you can time leap something, and oh my gosh, you can go like time leap your 0 into Melon. Melon then gets his Wool Water. Wool Water then will get you an extra card in hand and shuffle itself and another card from your hand back in the deck. And then you can go into like things like next stage. You can go into Warp Drive. What else? Like you have the Chronos command engine with Revolution to spin your opponent's board. The deck has like a little bit of everything. It's so good. It's so consistent. It has some of the best G guards in the game with the Luru, where you could put the heal and another card, non-trigger, back into the deck. Again, the deck's just so good. It's topping everything. So yeah, keep an eye out for this deck. You will definitely, if you go to an ARG or a Bouchard event, you're definitely going to see this deck. It's really, really good. Next deck let's get into is Overlords. Just not even like a single type of Overlord, like just general. It could be the Cross, it could be mixed with the Legend, it could be Legend Great, it could be the hand trap version that Team Absolution has. Just the deck in general is really, really consistent. Riding the Legend first gives you a plus of, like, if you, no matter what, like most of the decks, Flame Dragon, you search out a PG, a heal, a 3, an attacker. You could search out like anything. The deck's so good. It does lose to Rush though, but with cards like the Now Griffin that give the deck a really, really good mid game and lets you put back pressure, the deck's really consistent. And you also have like a ton of like one-of retire cards like Burnout, like Desire, that if it hits can kill 2, Mustafa. What else you have? You have the Ace if you need it as a finisher. You have Overlord, the Legend itself, with its Generation Break. This with Naham on board is just dumb. If you have double Nahams, your column's going to be huge. So yeah, the deck's really, really consistent. It's really good. You're definitely going to see Kagura, like, no matter what event you go to. The deck's really, really good, like, in the mid to late game, because it can capitalize on its G-Guard's retire ability. And also there are some games where your opponent will have no choice but to play into the G-Guard just to make your opponent waste the Denial Griffin or the Defeat Flare. So yeah. Look out for this deck. It's really, really popular at the moment, and it's really strong. So yeah. Next is NoCo. This deck, it did get hurt a little bit with the limiting of Refros, but the deck's still really strong. Again, you just play the 12 stand variant. I tried Criticals in it, and it's okay. But with the 12 stand variant, which is the best, because when you go to Rescue 2 with the Gavriel Stride, by playing the 12 stand, you can guarantee that 3/4 of all your triggers are stand triggers. Because if you hit a crit and you have all your attacks went through, it's useless. The point of the deck is you stand up Broken Heart and you attack with that and you win. Just pump your columns. The deck is also really consistent because you can have huge hand advantage with NoCo's skill, adding NoCo's to hand, and just you can pump up your columns. The deck's really, really good at what it does. Very consistent, very strong deck. The Refros hit was fair because, I mean, the card was really dumb because you could have infinite power columns. But again, the deck still sees a lot of play. It's still really good. It can still capitalize on if you're on like your opponent giving them early damage, because as soon as they ride into that no-seal, they can just play with their damage zone, increase their hand size, and you have to play around. If you're not playing any kind of control or spot removal in like Kagero, Link Joker, stuff like that, they can retire like 1-for-1 retires or like 2-for-1 retires. The deck, you have to manually attack their rear guards, which can be a problem at some point because you want to get Broken Heart off the board as soon as you can, because that card's the main problem card. Just because it can bump up all their front rows to insane amounts. So yeah, that's Angel Feather. You're definitely going to see this deck. So yeah, next is Sanctuary Guard. This deck's not going away anytime soon. The deck proved itself by winning ARG Nationals again. Top 2 was a Sanctuary Mirror match. No matter what build, I'd say the Blaster or just standard Sanctuary Guard, the deck is really good at what it does. Just throw down your hand out and hit for big numbers. Regalia is still ridiculous first turn stride. The deck's really consistent, really strong. You have cards like Benin and Twin Sword, which give the card an amazing early to mid game, especially Benin, Violinist, Twin Sword. Those three cards are like the main combo pieces of the deck. With the Blaster Engine, you want to try and get their blades off the board if you can, so they have to voluntarily get another one out of deck to get the combo with Flogo. Kill Twin Sword as much as you can. If you get rid of their Twin Swords, the deck will be a little bit weaker because that's their key combo play. That and Blaster Blade with the Flogo if they're playing the Blaster variant. But definitely, this deck's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's still incredibly consistent, and I'm waiting for the Daigo deck to come out. As soon as that does, this will probably be the best tier 1 budget deck in the game because like everything's cheap in there besides like the Outmile crits, the Blaster Engine, some strides. I mean, the deck's going to be pretty budget, so yeah, that's going to be really good. And then I think, one second, and the last deck is Chaos. I want to talk about this deck. I feel like this deck's so dumb. I recently piloted this deck to first place at ARG Providence. The deck is literally, it's so consistent. It's like the epitome of control besides Kagero. The fact that none of your cards in the deck, if you play pure Chaos on like the Messiah build, which I think is still good, but it's a bit clunkier. None of your cards are Generation Break, so everything can just be activated right away, and that's like what makes the deck so good. Then you have cards like the Limit Breaking Mover and Colony Maker, which can like help you advance your plays. You have a great first turn stride in Universe to get a card out of your opponent's hand, and the deck's so good at what it does. Very consistent, aggro, draw ability. It's really good right now. The only bad matchup I'd say the deck really has is the mirror match or stuff that unlocks. I mean, because the deck's still really good. I mean, the only thing that like gave me a really hard time during ARG was the Link Joker mirror match. It went down to essentially who had the most amnesties and who played around it the most. Because there are games where I'm like, okay, I go into amnesty and I'll lock one of his cards, and I'll make him voluntarily use the Starvader G-Guard to lock another of his cards. Then he'll play something to lock my card, and then he'll have 3 for amnesty. So he wastes like a G-Guard and a Counter Blast or so just to get him to advance his plays and try and get that critical and power with amnesty. So yeah, this deck's really, really good. It's really consistent, and it's one of my new favorite decks now. It's really, really good at, especially like their turn 3 ride. It has no bad turn 3 ride either. If you ride Bringer, you lock a card. If you ride Chaos, you can pitch one to lock anything. So yeah, and just advance your plays from there. So the deck's really good at what it does. Again, guys, this is just my personal opinion of my top 5 favorite decks for the meta. So yeah, that was my video. Rate, comment, sub. Thanks, guys. I'll have more videos up this week. Probably like this weekend. Maybe a secret deck profile or something. But we'll see. So yeah, rate, comment, sub, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. Bye.